The graduation party was alive with color and light. Neon strands twisted around the pillars of the community hall, casting a rainbow glow on the crowd below. Music pulsed softly, a mix of upbeat electronic tunes and slower, heartfelt songs that made people sway gently in groups or pairs. The air smelled faintly of popcorn and sweet syrup from the drink stalls outside. Alex, standing near the center of the hall, felt a curious mix of excitement and nervousness. Today was a day everyone had been waiting for. Years of studying, exams, and endless practice sessions in the simulation labs had finally led to this moment. The graduation celebration. Alex scanned the crowd, noticing friends in sparkling dresses and crisp suits, all chatting in small cliques. There was laughter, the clinking of glasses, and the occasional cheer when a friend won a small prize from the digital raffle projected on the wall. For Alex, this moment was both ordinary and extraordinary. Ordinary because it was just another party. Extraordinary because it marked the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. The thought of leaving behind old classrooms and stepping into a larger world, maybe even beyond Earth, was thrilling. As Alex moved through the crowd, a familiar figure appeared. Mrs. Callan, the mother of Alex's best friend, Liam, was standing near the refreshment table. She was always slightly mysterious, a woman whose calm voice and quiet intelligence made people trust her immediately. She had never been loud or demanding, but Alex had always felt a strange sense of comfort and curiosity around her. Tonight, she smiled warmly, her eyes catching Alex's. Without speaking, she reached out and slid something into Alex's hand. A folded piece of paper, delicate but firm, with neat handwriting on the outside. Alex glanced around quickly, but no one seemed to notice. Curiosity prickled at Alex's senses. Slowly, carefully, Alex unfolded the note. On it, in small, precise letters, was a message that made the heart skip. "Come find me tonight." Alex's mind spun. It was simple, yet it felt important. Why now? Why at the graduation party? Why was it given in secret? The note wasn't signed, but Alex knew exactly who it was from. Mrs. Callan. The crowd continued to laugh and dance around Alex, but the world seemed to shrink for a moment. The music faded slightly in Alex's mind, replaced by a pulse of excitement and curiosity. What did this mean? And what could possibly be waiting tonight after the party ended? Alex stuffed the note into a pocket, heart racing, and moved closer to the refreshment table under the pretense of getting a drink. There, Liam was chatting with a group of friends, completely unaware of the secret message that had just passed hands. Alex smiled faintly and shook their head, thinking, how could anyone know about this? Minutes turned into what felt like hours as Alex tried to focus on casual conversation. Friends joked about future plans, shared stories from school, and speculated about the next steps in their lives. But Alex's mind kept drifting back to the note. The handwriting was so familiar, precise, almost inviting. And the words themselves carried a sense of purpose, as though Mrs. Callan had been waiting for someone who could understand. Finally, the party began to wind down. The last song played, slow and gentle, filling the hall with a soft glow. People started saying their goodbyes, laughter fading into quiet conversation. Alex took a deep breath, feeling a mixture of nervousness and anticipation. Tonight, whatever awaited, it would be something different, something remarkable. Outside, the cool evening air wrapped around Alex like a welcome cloak. The city lights shimmered in the distance, and above, a sky tinged with early stars stretched endlessly. The streets were quiet, save for the occasional hover car passing by. Alex's heart beat steadily, the rhythm of curiosity pushing forward with every step. Alex's mind replayed every interaction with Mrs. Callan over the years. her advice during science fairs, her quiet encouragement after simulations went wrong, her gentle teasing whenever Alex doubted abilities. She had always seemed like someone who saw beyond the ordinary, someone who believed humans could do more than they often gave themselves credit for. And now, she had reached out directly, with a note that promised adventure, or at least a revelation of some kind. The path Alex chose was one lined with small gardens and glowing street panels, a quieter part of the city that seemed almost untouched by the usual crowd. It felt like stepping into a different world, a hidden layer beneath the everyday hustle. Alex followed instinct, keeping the note safe in a pocket and eyes alert for any sign, however subtle, that could indicate where Mrs. Callan might be waiting. A faint, warm light flickered between the buildings ahead. Alex paused, heart quickening. It wasn't a street light, nor the reflection from a shop window. It seemed deliberate, a signal waiting just for someone who knew to look. Alex moved closer, careful but eager, curiosity outweighing caution. The light led Alex down a narrow alleyway. It was clean and well-maintained, with soft moss growing along the edges of the walls and tiny holographic butterflies hovering lazily in the air. It was beautiful in a quiet, hidden way, like a secret garden built into the city's architecture. Alex smiled, feeling the familiar thrill of discovery. Something unusual, something important, was just ahead. At the end of the alleyway, Alex found a small platform elevated slightly above street level. On it, an unusual vehicle sat, unlike any ordinary transport. Sleek, with a smooth metallic surface that reflected the city lights in prismatic colors, it hummed softly, as if alive. Alex approached cautiously, hands brushing over the cool metal. The design was intricate, advanced, yet elegant, human ingenuity made tangible. And then a voice called softly from behind. "Alex." It was Mrs. Callan, calm, warm, inviting. She stepped forward, her eyes bright under the faint light. "I've been waiting for you," she said. "I wasn't sure if you would come, but I had to try. Tonight, you're going to see something that only a few humans have ever witnessed." Alex's stomach fluttered. "See what?" Mrs. Callan smiled mysteriously. "Something that will show you just how far humans can go when we dare to imagine. It isn't dangerous, not at all. But it's a chance to step into a part of the future most people don't even know exists." Alex's heart pounded. "Why me?" "Because you're curious. Because you notice things others don't. And because tonight, we need someone who believes in possibility more than caution." The words hung in the air, charged with anticipation. Alex felt a surge of excitement, the kind that made every nerve feel alive. This wasn't just a party anymore. This was the start of something extraordinary, something beyond ordinary life. "Are you ready?" Mrs. Callan asked gently, stepping toward the vehicle. Alex hesitated for a fraction of a second, then nodded. "I'm ready." Mrs. Callan opened the sleek door of the vehicle, revealing an interior that glowed with soft blue lights, panels filled with symbols and interfaces that seemed almost alive. Alex stepped in, heart racing, hands brushing over the smooth controls. As the door closed and the hum of energy surrounded them, Alex realized that tonight was not about graduation, or parties, or leaving school behind. Tonight was about stepping into a future that humans had always dreamed of, but few had truly touched. And somehow, Alex knew that this was just the beginning. The city outside blurred as the vehicle lifted gently into the air, hovering above the streets. The stars above seemed brighter now, closer, as if they were welcoming Alex into a wider, endless universe. And in that moment, Alex understood. Curiosity, courage, and the willingness to follow a mysterious note could lead to wonders no one had imagined. The adventure had begun. The vehicle floated quietly above the streets, its hum soft but steady. Alex pressed hands against the smooth controls, feeling the gentle vibrations under fingertips. Lights outside shimmered past, blurring into streaks as the vehicle moved higher. The city looked different from above, smaller, quieter, yet alive with a strange kind of order. It was as though every light, every movement was part of a vast, interconnected rhythm that Alex had never noticed from the ground. Mrs. Callan sat across from Alex, calm and composed. Her eyes reflected the city lights, glowing with a quiet intensity. "Not many people have seen the city like this," she said softly. "Most are too busy looking straight ahead, too focused on their routines to notice the patterns around them. But humans have a way of seeing what others cannot." Alex swallowed, feeling a mix of awe and nervousness. "Where are we going?" "To a place few have ever visited," Mrs. Callan replied. "But first, you need to follow a trail built for those who notice details, who listen to whispers the world sends. Tonight you will see what curiosity can truly lead to." The vehicle descended slowly, settling on the edge of a platform suspended above the city. It was narrow, like a walkway connecting two towering buildings, but it glowed faintly with embedded lights that marked a path. Alex stepped out carefully, glancing at the sky above and the dizzying height below. There was no fear, only a tingling excitement, as though the world had stretched wider just for this moment. Mrs. Callan handed Alex a small device, no bigger than a pocket tablet. "This will guide you. It's simple, but it reacts to your awareness. Pay attention, and it will show the next step." Alex turned it over, curious. The screen was blank at first. Then a soft pulse appeared, glowing gently. "Just follow it?" Alex asked. "Yes," Mrs. Callan said, "but don't rush. This isn't about speed. It's about noticing, thinking, imagining. The device responds to both." Alex nodded, taking the first step onto the platform. The device pulsed slightly, indicating the path forward. Alex followed carefully, each footstep echoing faintly in the quiet space above the city. The lights beneath flickered in rhythm with the device, almost like the city itself was aware, helping guide the way. The path led through a narrow corridor of greenery, a hidden garden suspended in the air. Tiny holographic butterflies floated lazily among the trees, their wings sparkling with artificial light. Alex reached out to touch one, and it vanished, leaving only a trace of soft glow. The garden smelled faintly of flowers and ozone, a strange but comforting scent. It was as if someone had taken care to make the world magical in secret. Alex's mind wandered back to all the times Mrs. Callan had mentioned the potential of humans. She had always believed that people could achieve extraordinary things if they dared to look beyond the ordinary. Tonight, Alex realized, was an example of exactly that. Humans had created this city, this secret garden, even the advanced vehicle they had arrived in. And yet, Mrs. Callan hinted that all of this was just the beginning. The device pulsed again, stronger this time, and Alex followed its light to a small archway made of interwoven metal and glowing glass. The arch hummed softly, as if alive, and as Alex stepped through it, the world seemed to shift slightly. The city below became distant, and a new environment unfolded, one that looked almost like another dimension. There were floating platforms, glowing lines stretching across open space, and shapes that seemed suspended in midair, moving with a rhythm that Alex could not immediately understand. It was beautiful and strange, like a secret network hidden above the city, designed for those who could see beyond the obvious. Alex stopped for a moment, taking it all in. "Is this real?" Alex asked. Mrs. Callan smiled. "Yes, but it's more than real. It's human ingenuity, imagination, and careful planning made tangible. Few people ever notice this layer of the world, but it exists because humans are capable of more than they often realize." Alex felt a rush of pride and awe. Humans, ordinary, everyday people, had created this. and here was a hidden path built for curiosity, for exploration, for those willing to take the first step into something greater. The device pulsed again, leading Alex across the floating platforms. Each step required balance and attention, but Alex's excitement kept every movement steady. With each pulse, the path seemed to respond, lights glowing brighter or dimmer depending on the pace and focus. It was as though the city itself was alive, watching and encouraging. At the edge of the final platform, Alex paused. There was a shimmering curtain of light ahead, moving like water frozen in midair. Beyond it, shapes glimmered faintly, suggestions of machines or devices, but unlike anything Alex had ever seen. The device pulsed rapidly, urging forward. Mrs. Callan appeared beside Alex. "This is where observation matters most," she said. "Everything you will see next is delicate. Humans designed it, yes, but it requires understanding and careful attention to be appreciated fully. Are you ready?" Alex nodded, heart pounding. "Yes." Stepping through the curtain of light, Alex felt a gentle tingling sensation, almost like stepping through a cool mist. On the other side, a large chamber unfolded, glowing with soft blue light. Panels of transparent material floated in midair, displaying streams of symbols, colors, and flowing patterns. Each panel seemed to respond to Alex's gaze, rearranging, highlighting, pulsing. Alex gasped. "What is all this?" Mrs. Callan gestured toward the panels. "This is the quantum network interface. Few humans have ever interacted with it directly. It is the culmination of decades of research, human thought, creativity, and problem-solving made into a bridge. It can connect across space, not just physically but through data, emotion, and understanding. And tonight, you will see how it works." Alex stepped closer, hand hovering over one of the floating panels. Symbols shifted gently under Alex's gaze, forming patterns that felt almost alive. It was as if the machine understood curiosity, responding to attention, imagination, and focus rather than commands alone. Mrs. Callan smiled again. "Humans have always reached for more. We explored oceans, climbed mountains, and even walked on other planets. But this is a different kind of exploration. It's not about distance. It's about connection, understanding, and ingenuity. And you, Alex, are about to take the first step." Alex felt a thrill of anticipation. I don't know if I can." "You can," Mrs. Callan said firmly. "You already have. You followed the note, trusted curiosity, and arrived here. That is enough. Everything else will follow." Alex reached out, fingertips brushing the surface of the nearest panel. Light flowed into the hand, warmth spreading, and the symbols shifted, forming a network that seemed to reach far beyond the room, stretching into space itself. It was beautiful, delicate, alive. Alex realized that this was more than just a machine. It was human potential, made visible. Every pulse, every color, every moving symbol represented ingenuity, collaboration, and imagination. And somehow, Alex felt a direct connection to it, as if human creativity itself was whispering, "Keep going. Notice, learn, connect." Mrs. Callan watched with a gentle smile. "Tonight, you are not just a witness. You are part of it. Your attention, your awareness, your understanding will shape the network. Humans do this all the time, often without realizing. We imagine, experiment, and build, and sometimes the results are beyond what we expect." Alex took a deep breath, feeling a mix of nervousness and excitement. Then, slowly, deliberately, Alex moved hands across the panels, noticing how each gesture changed patterns, how curiosity unlocked new connections, how observation created order from chaos. The sensation was exhilarating. Hours seemed to pass in minutes. Alex lost track of time, caught in a flow of wonder and learning. Each pulse of light, each rearrangement of symbols told a story of human ingenuity, perseverance, and imagination. It was like seeing the very essence of humanity, distilled into shapes, colors, and movement. Finally, Mrs. Callan spoke. "Enough for tonight. You've seen the beginning, and this is just the start. Humans are capable of more than we often give ourselves credit for. The future is not a distant place. It is made every time someone dares to notice, imagine, and act. And tonight, Alex, you've done exactly that." Alex stepped back, heart racing, mind spinning with awe. It's incredible. I never imagined humans could—" Mrs. Callan shook her head gently. "You have only seen a glimpse. But remember this feeling. Remember that curiosity, courage, and care can take us farther than any machine or vehicle. Humans. We are extraordinary in ways we often forget." As they left the chamber and returned to the vehicle, Alex looked out at the city below, lights shimmering like stars brought down to earth. Something inside had shifted. It wasn't just excitement or wonder. It was a deep sense of pride, a recognition of human potential, and a spark of inspiration that Alex knew would never fade. The night was far from over, and the adventure had only just begun. But one thing was certain. Humans were capable of amazing things. And Alex had just taken the first step into a world where curiosity and ingenuity were the most powerful forces of all. The vehicle floated back into the quiet streets above the city. Outside, the city lights twinkled like distant stars, but inside, Alex's mind was racing. The chamber they had just left felt like a dream, a network of floating symbols, pulsing lights, and a sense of intelligence that seemed almost alive. But the most amazing part was not the technology itself. It was the human touch behind it. The patterns, the responsiveness, the sheer elegance of the system. It was proof that humans could create wonders beyond imagination. Mrs. Callan watched Alex closely, a soft smile on her face. "You've done well so far," she said. "Most people never even notice the hidden layers of our world, let alone interact with them. But now, it's time to show you the real purpose." Alex leaned forward, heart pounding. "The real purpose? What do you mean?" Mrs. Callan's eyes glimmered with excitement. "All that you just experienced, the chamber, the network, the responsiveness, it is only the beginning. Humans have always reached for more, beyond what we see and touch. Tonight, I want to show you something that connects our world to another, far away. Something only a handful of humans have ever witnessed." Alex's breath caught. "Another world?" "Yes," she said. "Mars." Alex blinked, stunned. The Mars colony had been in the news for years, slowly growing and preparing to host humans permanently. But to actually witness a connection, to be part of it, it felt impossible. Yet here was Mrs. Callan, calm and composed, speaking as though it were ordinary. The vehicle descended further, guiding them to a hidden rooftop that overlooked the city's science district. It was a quiet area, filled with small labs, gardens, and observatories that glowed softly under the night sky. On the rooftop, a sleek, dome-shaped structure waited. Its surface shimmered faintly, almost like water reflecting starlight. "This," Mrs. Callan said, gesturing to the dome, "is the gateway. It is where humanity's dreams of connecting across worlds begin. And tonight, Alex, you will be the first human to witness a live link with Mars using our quantum communication interface." Alex's mind raced. I can do that?" "Yes," she said, "because humans are capable of more than we often realize. Curiosity, observation, imagination, and care. These are the tools we need. You already have them, or you wouldn't have followed that note tonight." Alex took a deep breath, stepping closer to the dome. The surface seemed to respond to proximity, glowing brighter as if recognizing the presence of someone aware and ready. Inside, the interior was larger than it appeared from outside. Soft blue light filled the space, and floating panels like the ones in the previous chamber hovered in midair. Symbols, patterns, and glowing pathways shifted continuously, responsive to even the smallest movement. "This is it," Mrs. Callan said. "The connection point. The first real-time link between Earth and Mars. Humans designed it, yes, but it is interactive. It listens, it responds, and it allows one person at a time to experience the other world directly." Alex approached one of the panels, hesitant. Fingers hovered over the glowing surface. What happens if I touch it?" "You will connect," Mrs. Callan said simply. "Not just visually or through sound, but in a way that lets you feel, understand, and communicate across space. Think of it as a bridge built with human creativity, ingenuity, and care." Alex's hands trembled slightly, not from fear, but from the enormity of the moment. Slowly, fingertips brushed the panel. A warm sensation spread through the body, gentle and electric, like sunlight filtered through water. The panel pulsed, and before Alex's eyes, the shapes shifted to form a scene from another world. The red plains of Mars, stretching endlessly, bathed in soft morning light. Alex gasped. It was breathtaking. The surface of Mars, its dusty hills, small domed habitats, and thin trails of robotic explorers, they were all visible in vivid clarity. It was not a screen, not a video, but something deeper, almost like reaching across space with the mind itself. "Can you see it?" Mrs. Callan asked. "Yes," Alex whispered, voice filled with wonder. It's real. I can see it all." "Not only see," Mrs. Callan said, moving closer. "You can interact. Try sending a simple thought, a greeting, anything. The system translates your awareness into a form that can be received on Mars. Humanity designed it this way because imagination and emotion travel farther than words or signals alone." Alex hesitated, then thought, "Hello." The sensation was immediate. Across millions of kilometers, Alex felt a response, a flicker of awareness, faint but unmistakable, like someone on the other side had noticed and smiled. A small dome in the Martian colony glowed softly, responding to the thought. Alex's heart raced. It worked! I reached someone on Mars." Mrs. Callan nodded. "Exactly. Humans are capable of more than we often believe. Not because of machines or technology alone, but because we imagine, we observe, and we care. That is what makes this connection possible." Alex moved hands across the panels, exploring the interface. Trails of energy flowed with each gesture, highlighting different areas of the Martian surface, small habitats, and people inside the domes. It was astonishing. Every movement of the fingers and every thought reshaped the visualization, creating a dynamic, interactive experience that made the mind spin with possibilities. "This is amazing," Alex said, voice trembling with excitement. "It's like being there, but also more than there." Mrs. Callan smiled. "It is. Humans have always sought to reach further, to explore beyond what is known. The oceans, the mountains, the skies, and now other planets. And tonight, you are part of that legacy." Alex looked down at the glowing interface and felt a surge of pride. Humans, ordinary people like scientists, engineers, and dreamers, had built this. They had taken curiosity and imagination and turned it into a bridge across worlds. Alex realized, with an almost overwhelming sense of clarity, that humans were extraordinary not because of strength or speed, but because of creativity, persistence, and courage. Minutes passed in a blur. Alex experimented with sending small gestures of awareness across the interface, a thought of excitement, a feeling of calm, even a laugh. Each was received on Mars in subtle ways. A light flickered in response, a panel shifted color, and in one small habitat, a child on the Martian colony waved through the connection. Alex felt their presence, faint but real, a proof that human ingenuity could indeed bridge unimaginable distances. "This is incredible," Alex whispered. "Humans. We really can do amazing things." Mrs. Callan nodded. "Yes, and tonight you have witnessed it firsthand. You've seen that what humans imagine, we can achieve. And not just for ourselves, but for each other. Every connection, every act of creativity makes the world and the universe brighter." Alex's mind spun with possibilities. If one person could interact with the Martian colony like this, what else could humans do? The thought of helping build, explore, and connect filled every corner of Alex's imagination. It was a feeling of boundless potential, a sense that nothing was truly impossible. Then Mrs. Callan spoke again, gently but firmly. "There is one more thing I want you to understand tonight. This interface, this connection, is not just technology. It is a symbol of what humans can achieve when we notice, when we care, when we imagine, and when we act. You have been chosen because you embody that spirit, and it is a spirit that will carry humanity forward, no matter how far we travel." Alex nodded, feeling a deep sense of awe and responsibility. I understand. Humans really are extraordinary, and we have to keep going, keep imagining, keep building, keep connecting." "Yes," Mrs. Callan said, smiling. "Exactly. And it starts with moments like this, where curiosity meets courage. The future is not a distant place. It is made by humans every day, in ways both big and small. Tonight, you have seen just one example. Imagine what tomorrow holds." Alex looked at the Martian landscape shimmering through the panels, heart pounding with hope and wonder. The red plains stretched endlessly, but Alex no longer felt distant or alone. Humans had reached across space, and tonight, Alex had touched that achievement firsthand. It was more than a dream. It was reality. And Alex knew that this was only the beginning. The city below had gone quiet. The streets were dim, the neon lights softened to gentle glows, and the occasional hover car passed lazily over the elevated roads. Alex sat inside the sleek, dome-shaped vehicle, heart still racing from the experience with the quantum communication interface. The feeling of connecting with Mars, of seeing the colony and sensing the people there, had left a warm, buzzing energy in every part of the body. Alex could hardly believe it was real, yet every sense insisted that it was. Mrs. Callan sat nearby, her calm presence grounding Alex's excitement. "You've done well," she said softly. "Most people never get this far, and you have done more than observe. You participated. You reached across space and made contact with humans who have been waiting for connection just as much as you have." Alex smiled, though it was a mixture of awe and disbelief. "It's more than I imagined. I didn't think it would feel like this, like I'm actually there." "That's because humans are capable of more than they realize," Mrs. Callan replied. "Technology alone is nothing without imagination, care, and attention. And you brought all three tonight. That is what made this experience possible." Alex took a deep breath, staring at the glowing panels in front. The red plains of Mars stretched endlessly, dotted with small domes, robotic explorers, and tiny clusters of humans moving carefully in the habitats. Alex reached out again, fingertips brushing the floating controls. Light pulsed in response, guiding movement across the panels, showing energy flows, communication paths, and subtle connections between Earth and Mars. "This is incredible," Alex whispered. "It's like I can see the whole process, how humans are building it step by step and connecting even across millions of kilometers." Mrs. Callan nodded. Exactly. Every step, every effort, every idea contributes to this. Humans have always explored, invented, and connected. From the first boats crossing oceans to the first rockets leaving Earth's atmosphere, we have always pushed limits. And now, this is another step. A leap not of distance, but of understanding. Alex's mind swirled. The thought that humans, ordinary people, just like those back at the graduation party, could create such a bridge between worlds was overwhelming. It was proof of ingenuity, patience, and collaboration. And it was proof that even small actions, curiosity, and persistence could ripple across space in ways most people would never imagine. Mrs. Callan stood and walked to the center of the dome. Now, Alex, I want you to do something important. Close your eyes and imagine yourself sending a message to Mars. Not words, not signals, but your awareness, your intention, your thought, your curiosity. Think of a simple greeting, a feeling, or even a memory that represents humanity. Let it flow. Alex closed eyes, heart racing. Thoughts focused on the simplest human expressions: laughter, hope, and curiosity. A mental image formed, a small paper airplane from the childhood of a friend, carrying the idea of play, discovery, and imagination. Alex let the feeling go, imagining it traveling across space, reaching Mars. A soft pulse ran through the panels. Colors shifted, lights danced, and the distant Martian habitat responded. A child inside one of the domes waved their hand, as if understanding something far beyond ordinary communication. Alex's heart leaped. The connection wasn't just visual or technological, it was emotional, human, alive. You see, Mrs. Callan said, this is the essence of humanity, our ability to imagine, to feel, and to connect. That is what makes humans extraordinary. Machines, networks, and technology are only tools. Humans are the spark. Alex opened eyes, awed by the glowing display. It feels like they know me, like they understand the greeting, even though we're so far apart. That's the point, Mrs. Callan replied. Distance doesn't matter when humans create with care. Your awareness, your thought, is as powerful as any signal. And every human who dares to imagine, act, and connect contributes to a larger network. We call it the quantum network, but it is really a reflection of what humans can achieve when curiosity leads action. Alex felt a surge of pride, warmth spreading from chest to fingertips. This wasn't just about technology. It was about people. The human spirit reaching across worlds, showing that creativity, observation, and courage could truly span unimaginable distances. Mrs. Callan gestured to the panels. Take your time, explore. Send a few more thoughts, watch the reactions. See how your awareness can shape interaction, connection, and understanding. It is simple, yet profound. Alex moved fingers over the panels again, this time experimenting freely. Thought after thought traveled across millions of kilometers. A sense of play, a feeling of wonder, a memory of shared laughter, all flowed through the interface. Each reaction from Mars was immediate but subtle, a flicker of light, a change in color, a gentle ripple across the panels. Alex realized that these small gestures, combined with human attention and imagination, created meaningful connections. Hours, or perhaps minutes, passed. Time seemed irrelevant inside the dome. Alex became aware of one clear truth. Humans were capable of far more than ordinary life suggested. Every idea, every act of observation, every leap of imagination contributed to a larger world, a larger universe. And it wasn't just about exploration. It was about empathy, understanding, and the joy of connecting across distances. Mrs. Callan finally spoke softly. It's time to return, Alex. But remember this feeling. remember what you've seen tonight. Humans have always reached beyond themselves, and you've just witnessed a new way to do it. A way that depends on curiosity, imagination, and care, qualities that every human possesses. Alex nodded, feeling a sense of deep fulfillment. I understand. Humans really can do amazing things if we dare to try. It isn't about power or machines, it's about noticing, imagining, and connecting. Exactly, Mrs. Callan said, smiling. And one day, you may help guide others to do the same. Remember, this network, this connection, is not just for scientists. It is for anyone willing to imagine and care. The vehicle rose slowly into the night air, leaving the rooftop and floating gently above the quiet city. Alex looked out over the streets below, seeing familiar lights and homes, yet now they seemed smaller, part of a larger web of human potential stretching toward the stars. Alex leaned back, reflecting on everything that had happened. The graduation party, the mysterious note, following Mrs. Callan, exploring the hidden chamber, interacting with the quantum network, and finally connecting with humans on Mars. It had all led to this. A feeling of wonder, pride, and inspiration filled every part of Alex's being. Humans were capable of extraordinary things, and tonight had proven it beyond doubt. Mrs. Callan broke the silence. You see, Alex, humanity's journey has always been about exploration. First, we explored our world, then our skies, and now the stars themselves. But exploration is not only about distance, it is about understanding, creativity, and empathy. You have touched that tonight. Alex nodded slowly, still overwhelmed. I never thought that humans could connect like this, across worlds, and it isn't scary or impossible. It feels natural, like we were meant to try. That is what makes humans special, Mrs. Callan said. We imagine, we create, we care, and when we act with purpose, even ordinary humans can achieve the extraordinary. Never forget that, Alex. The vehicle hovered silently above the city for a few moments more. Alex watched the stars above, feeling a sense of infinite possibility. If humans could connect across space with imagination and care, what else could they do? What other frontiers awaited? The thought was exhilarating. Finally, Mrs. Callan said, We will return to the city now. Your adventure tonight may be over, but remember, humans are capable of far more than we often believe. Curiosity, courage, and care can take us farther than we ever imagined. Alex nodded, heart swelling with pride and inspiration. The city lights below grew clearer as the vehicle descended, returning them to the familiar streets. Yet Alex knew everything had changed. The world was the same, but perception had shifted. Humans were extraordinary. Ordinary people, driven by curiosity, imagination, and empathy, could reach across worlds and touch the impossible. As the vehicle landed and the doors opened, Alex stepped out into the quiet night. The graduation party, the friends, the streets, they all seemed familiar yet new, like looking at the world through eyes that had seen beyond. Alex glanced at the sky where stars twinkled like promises of future adventure. Mrs. Callan smiled one last time. Remember tonight. Remember what humans can do when we dare to imagine and act, and remember that the future is not something distant. It is built by humans every day through curiosity, creativity, and courage. Alex smiled back, feeling a warmth deep in the chest. I will, and I want to be part of it. I want to explore, create, and connect. I want to help humanity reach farther in every way we can. Mrs. Callan nodded, satisfied. Then go. The world is waiting, Alex, and the universe beyond that. Alex looked up at the night sky again. The stars seemed closer, brighter, almost alive. A sense of wonder and possibility filled every fiber of being. Humans were extraordinary. And tonight, Alex had seen proof of it. Not in machines, not in technology, but in imagination, creativity, and the simple, undeniable power of being human. With a final deep breath, Alex walked back to the quiet streets, heart full, mind racing with possibilities. The adventure had begun, and the universe was wide open, and Alex knew without a doubt that humans could reach it, one curious step at a time.